Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Quaker. I'm back up here today, guys, with another collection guide video. I feel like I've done this in a pretty ironic way, actually. Well, I wouldn't say ironic, but a pretty interesting way. I've done it actually in generation. I've done a previous generation console, like pre-HD, and I've done a HD console, and now I'm doing a current gen console. The main reason I did that is because these are my three most played consoles and my three most collected for consoles. So this isn't really a buying guide or an in-depth review of each system. This is just more of some ins and outs of collecting for these systems, some of the things to look out for and some reasons to collect for. And today, guys, we are talking about the PlayStation 4. Now, as you know, I didn't actually get the PlayStation 4 on launch. I got the Xbox One over the PlayStation 4. And for the most part, I tended to play Xbox One over PS4. Originally, the PlayStation 4 was like a side console for me, and I only collected exclusive games for it, and the Xbox One was my main console. But about a year ago, I switched over, and now my Xbox One, I very rarely buy any games. My Xbox One, because I tend to use digital games on my Xbox One. With the PlayStation 4, I have a variety. I have both digital and physical. In fact, I am working on hopefully one day going for a full PlayStation 4 set. But before we get into some games and stuff, we need to talk about the hardware. So it's important to know, if you are looking to collect for the PlayStation 4, there are three different models of the PlayStation 4. There's the original model, the slim model, and the Pro model. Now, the normal model and the slim model, I don't think have any too much differences, with the exception of the slim model is obviously smaller and slimmer. And I think it also had HDR available for it, which is like a high definition resolution. I don't know what HDR is. I know it's a setting you can have on the PlayStation 4, and I believe you can also set the PlayStation 4 to 4K out on the slim with for like movies and stuff, kind of like the Xbox One Slim. And the PlayStation 4 Pro was like the Xbox One X, basically. It's the strongest PlayStation 4. It's like the elite version. You know how I've always said there's been a base model, then a slim model, then an elite version. PlayStation 4 pretty much done the same thing. Now, again, you've got to decide which model you want. Like I said, if you want to get the best quality and the best picture and all of this stuff, then the PlayStation 4 Pro is probably the way to go. However, if you're not too bothered about all of that, because I ain't going to lie, the PlayStation 4 looks amazing. I haven't seen any problems with any graphics. If the graphics are bad, it's the game, not the console. So the slim model is, in my opinion, the best model to go for because it's smaller. And it does have a few extras that the normal PlayStation 4 doesn't have. And obviously, it's a bit cheaper than the Pro. But I digress. There are plenty of variations for the consoles. They come in different colours. There's plenty of limited edition ones out there. If you are a console collector in terms of hardware, there are plenty of cool models out there. The model that I would love to have as a collection item would be the Star Wars Battlefront model with the Darth Vader. When the original Star Wars Battlefront, the 2015 Star Wars Battlefront came out, there with the PlayStation 4 with the Darth Vader, and that's one of my best looking consoles and one that I'd love to have. However, the Slim works fine and it looks and plays great. There's no problem with it. I do like the design. So what extras do you need to have with the PlayStation 4? Well, it's kind of an obvious one, but we always have to start with the obvious choice. You need a controller. I have two different variations of controllers because this one don't really work as much actually for some reason. It might be the grip, but for some reason when I'm playing games the camera just seems to turn on its own and I'm not moving the thing, so I don't know if there's something wrong with it. So there's the DualShock 4, this is the base controller, and then there's the third-party asymmetrical styles. I know it's not asymmetrical, I don't know why I call it like that. I don't know what the word is, but Each model, there are some differences. The DualShock 4, the original DualShock 4 obviously had a touchpad, which was kind of unique at the time, and it had a share button, which basically allows you to share and upload things and stuff. So it's a simple button, unlike on the Xbox One, where you have to go onto a menu to do so. And of course there's the start button. The touchpad basically is like the start button for most games. Now there are a few games that utilise the touchpad, like a mouse, and you can even use it as a mouse as well. So it's a pretty cool thing that I did like about it. It was kind of intuitive. Some games use the touchpad, but after about like the first year or so, most games just drop the idea of using the touchpad. But there's also something else about this controller that a lot of people don't realise, is that this controller has a light here which actually acts as a move controller. Now this controller is also motion controlled as well. So there are some games out there where you will require to have a PlayStation DualShock 4 controller for certain games. Just be aware of that. There's two games that I can think of off the top of my head. Three games, sorry, that I can think of off the top of my head that you will need to use this controller for. The first is infamous Second Son. You don't actually really need it to play the game. It's just when you're doing the spray painting, you will need to do things like that. And Tearaway Unfolded was another one that used the touchpad and the motion control, and also the Beyond Two Souls also uses motion controls. I think a lot of games like that did. So there are plenty of games out there that use motion controls, so you won't be able to use a third-party controller like this. This is a Nacon controller. But this is the controller I use for most games. It works great, and obviously it feels like an Xbox One controller. It's super comfortable, and it's probably one of my more favourite third-party controllers. There are plenty of third-party ones that like this. This is just a cheaper option. It's a Bluetooth controller, so you will need to charge it up. And there's something else that you can get, is you can get a charging port like this. I haven't got it plugged in because I'm using it for my stand, and basically they get these little things like that into there, and you can just put it like so, plugged in onto this, and that's how you charge your controllers. Now unfortunately it won't fit into the Nacon controller properly. It might if I fiddle it around a little bit, but just be aware that the PlayStation 4 controller doesn't require batteries, so it's really good, but it will require a micro USB cable charge it up, which you can actually use plugged into a normal plug if you don't want to plug it into your PlayStation. And another piece of hardware that I would highly recommend is a hard drive. Now, an external hard drives come in various sizes: 1 TB, 2, 4 and 8. There's no official PlayStation external hard drive, so you will have to go third party. But the best bet is the Seagate one, which is what I use. It's a 2 TB hard drive. PlayStation 4s come in various console sizes. There's 500 GB, 1 TB, 2 and 2 TB. I highly recommend going for a 1 or 2 TB console, because 500 is nowhere near enough space. You could only fit about 5 or 6 games on there if they're normal games, unfortunately. So just get yourself a third party external hard drive. I think some PC hard drives do work as well with PlayStation, but just be aware, I would recommend getting one that is made for PlayStation 4 from a third party like Seagate, just for that extra space. Now there is also another piece of hardware. I'll see if I can get it out quickly. Managing to get it out. There is a third piece of hardware for the PlayStation 4, and that is the PlayStation VR. Now, the thing about the PlayStation VR is it isn't an essential purchase for PlayStation collectors. However, the PlayStation VR, in my opinion, is a really, really good VR system for people that are looking for something that doesn't require PC or that expensive. Now, I'm just going to put it back because I don't want to hold it the whole time. Now, again, it is an extra piece of hardware. Unfortunately, it is quite expensive. If you're going to get a full package, they cost about £200. But there are plenty of VR games on the PlayStation. both digital and physical. And you will need to, now the VR comes in 3 different styles. There's 2 models of the VR. The only issue I have with the VR is sometimes it is a bit of a pain to set up, and you do need a lot of space to have one. So just be aware, if you've got a small room, I wouldn't recommend the VR. I'd recommend getting... Now, there are some games on the VR that you can play without too much space, which use a normal controller, and some VR games don't use any controller, just a headset. But the VR does require, for the most part, Move controllers, which were also made for the PlayStation 4. And there are various kinds of Move controller attachments you can get, like the gun. The VR is a really fun thing. It's just, I like it, but I just haven't played enough of it to really delve right in. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't used it in a long time. Mostly because I don't have a lot of space up here to really play it. If I played it downstairs, no problem. It's just trying to find the time to do so. And I will do that again one day. So just be aware, they're the main things you need for a PlayStation 4. There are extras like every console. There are steering wheels and gas pedals. I think there are flight sticks available for like Ace Combat and stuff. So again, there are plenty of extras out there, but it doesn't have as much crazy stuff as, say, like the PlayStation 2 did. Mostly because I think Sony by now know that, and more people now prefer to just play the PlayStation or a console with the basic setup rather than going all crazy and stuff. But again, if you want to experiment, there are some extra things out there for you guys to check out. So that's the hardware covered. Now, what does the PlayStation have built in it? Again, like I said, it runs on HDMI 1080p, and I believe the Slim and Pro model output 4K. It's not real 4K, I think it's native 4K or upscaled 4K. I don't know, and to be honest, I really don't fucking care. I'm going to be honest with you. The games look great. I've got a 4K TV and they look great anyway. Even before I had a 4K TV, they still look great. I am bothering upgrading to a Pro and a Xbox One X. I'm just going to get a PS5 and a Series X as an upgrade. I might, if I've seen one on sale, then I might do a swap over or something, but it's not on my priority list. So there are some different options out there available for you guys in terms of setting wise to try and get the best picture quality you can. But just be aware that for the most part it is just a HDMI console with some 4K elements. What else does it have built in? Of course, it has everything that the PlayStation 3 had built in. It has a lot of streaming services and apps available on there. You can download Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon, Funimation Now, stuff like that. And of course, it has a digital store with a bunch of games that you can download. It has some free-to-play games. That's something I forgot to mention in my Xbox 360 games. If you are getting a PlayStation 4, just be aware that you don't, if you are going to collect for the PlayStation 4 and you don't have a lot of money to buy games, and you do want to play something, there are plenty of free-to-play games on the PlayStation 4, like Warframe and stuff like that. It's just off the top of my head. Warframe, Dreadnought, World of Tanks, stuff like that. If that's your thing, they're not the best games. They are pretty good games in their own right, but it's one of them, do you really want to play a free-to-play game? It's down to you. It is a good option for guys, for girls and guys, whatever, for you guys to play some games until you get the money to buy more games, I guess. As well as the PlayStation 4 also offers a subscription service, which you probably would need, called PlayStation Plus, which is basically like Xbox Live. That's something I forgot to mention in my Xbox video, I'm so sorry. PlayStation Plus is a monthly subscription service. You can pay 3 months, 1 month, or a year, which allows you to play online with friends. I do recommend that you do get one if you're looking for that, but as well as some other extra things you can do with it. And probably the best thing about PlayStation Plus is every month you get 2 free games on PlayStation. So and I know Xbox gives you 4, but we'll get into that when we do an Xbox One video. But yeah, so PlayStation Plus is something you should really invest in if you are looking to build up your digital collection, because you do get free games. And there is another service that PlayStation 4 offers called PlayStation Now, and that basically is a streaming service, kind of like the Game Pass. which offers about over 800 games. You pay monthly like PlayStation Plus, and any PlayStation 4 and even has some PlayStation 2 remaster games on there. You can download and play from your own console, but it also has PlayStation 3 games on there. You can stream and play them through the PlayStation Network streaming site. However, just be aware that if you are streaming a PlayStation 3 games, you probably do want to have a wired connection or at least pretty good internet, because otherwise it will lag and you will have some issues. But it is again another great service for newcomers to the console, because you get over 800 games to download and play at your own discretion, and a bunch of PlayStation 3 games that if you never had a PlayStation 3 or you didn't really delve into the PlayStation 3, you can try some out as well. But that is a it's kind of like one of them things. I'm sort of like, I do like PlayStation now, but again, it's just something for the newcomers. Now that's pretty much like the hardware and stuff thing. Oh yeah, and I also want to mention the PlayStation 4 does also allow you to stream and record gameplay directly from the PlayStation 4, directly to YouTube or Twitch. You just got to set up your account, and it uses its own streaming thing. You can stream your games online, and yeah, it works pretty well. It's not the best setup, but if you are looking to stream, it is something that you can do directly from your PlayStation without needing a laptop and stuff. So just be aware that's something you can do if you have a Twitch or YouTube account. And you do also have the PlayStation camera as well, which obviously you need for the PlayStation VR, but you can also use the PlayStation camera as a webcam, almost a face cam, if you are streaming as well. So just a little bit of an extra bonus there. Now, as for the games, well, the PlayStation 4 has no shortage of games. The PlayStation 4, in my opinion, is becoming one of my favourite consoles to collect for. Like I said, originally I went with Xbox One, but I swapped over and now I collect everything for the PlayStation 4. With the exception of some games I haven't got. Obviously, I ain't got a lot of sports games at the moment. I have actually been adding... I found the list of every single physical game that the PlayStation 4 has, and I am slowly adding them into my Amazon wish list on the ones that I don't have. Now, the good thing about the PlayStation 4 is there is no shortage of physical games as well as digital games, like I said. But there's about roughly 1,800 games for the PlayStation 4 physical, give or take. It still is releasing more and more games. Obviously, it's incomplete. It's still ongoing. I reckon the PlayStation 4 will they'll stop releasing games for the PlayStation 4 in about 2 or 3 years' time. Once the PlayStation 5 has settled in. So I wouldn't worry too much. And going for a full set, it's not easy. There are some pretty hard to find games out there. However, the best thing about the PlayStation 4 is it's region free. You know how I mentioned in my previous videos, region lock-in? Well, the PlayStation 4, you don't have that problem. It doesn't matter if you have an American version, English version, Japanese version, the PlayStation 4 will play everything. I don't know about DVDs. Oh, also the PlayStation 4 has a Blu-ray player built in. So if you are looking for a Blu-ray player, the PlayStation 4 plays Blu-rays. It doesn't play 4K Blu-rays, unfortunately, not to my knowledge. The PlayStation 4 Pro might, but I'm not sure. So just be aware that is also something you can do. However, I'm not sure if the Blu-rays and DVDs are region-free. I might be able... I think maybe some of the DVDs work region-free ones, because I have some American DVDs and I have used them on my PlayStation 4 and they worked. So again, I'm not entirely sure on that one, but again, for the games, it doesn't matter if you are living in Japan, America or PAL territories. It doesn't matter, because you can play any game. So you could import games from Japan, America, Europe. It doesn't matter where you get your games from, they will work on the PlayStation 4. And I am so glad that companies nowadays are doing this. We're not restricted by where we live. We can play whatever we want. Now the PlayStation 4, like I said, has no shortage of games, and there are so many amazing games on the PlayStation 4. Of course, there are very obvious ones like the Call of Duties, your Lego games, your sports games, you know. However, as you know, and you've probably seen in my collection videos, I tend to collect some of the out there games, some of the a lot of third party games, a lot of Japanese and style games, you know, Western. But the thing about a PlayStation 4 is a lot of games, because it is a Japanese console, a lot of games get released in Europe and America that are released in Japan as well. So there's not really too many exclusives to certain countries, and because it's region free, it doesn't matter. Japan obviously has more because it's a Japanese console, but there are so many games on there. There are games like Gundam games. I don't even know what country this is from. It says region free on it. I think this is a Chinese game actually, or it might be Japanese. I'm not entirely sure. So you've got your JRPGs, you know, you've got JRPGs on here. You've got fighting games, you've got racing games, you've got your traditional Western games like your Fallouts. There's plenty of like remasters as well on the PlayStation 4, like the Kingdom Hearts trilogy, complete edition here with all of the Kingdom Hearts games previously released up until 3. There's a bunch of Warriors games, of course, you know, I love my Warriors games, and, you know, again, there's something for everyone, and there's so many collector's editions out there. If you're into collector's editions, there's plenty of indie games as well that come out physical, as well as limited run super rare games. Some of these, you know, limited print games as well come out on PlayStation 4. However, those sort of games are kind of a first come first serve kind of purpose, so you need to get yourself on limited run website or super rare or whatever company is selling these games if you want to get them day one, and you do want a physical version of digital only games. Just be aware those sort of things are hard to find in the wild. You probably won't find them in the wild. Occasionally you might, but just be aware those sort of games are the ones you want to buy. If you do want a physical version, go to the website and pre-order them or buy them straight away. Otherwise, you will be paying a premium price on places like Amazon and eBay for those games. So just be aware, those sort of things are really hard to come by in the wild. And if you don't get them at first, your chances are you're going to have to pay an extra premium, sometimes double, triple the price of what the game is sold for on release. You know, I know one of the latest limited release games was the Star Wars Jedi Knight games, and they were selling them for $30 a piece, and in about 3 months time they'll be on eBay and Amazon for like $60, $70, $80, perhaps even more pounds as well. So just be aware if you are into those sort of things. I personally don't have any limited run games, but I would like some. Chances are I probably would have to buy them through Amazon or eBay, because a lot of them I've missed out on. However, one day I will do a limited run purchase, so just be aware I'm going to do that. So yeah, so there's plenty of exploration for the PlayStation 4, some great hidden gems here and there. Like I said, this isn't a video where I'm talking about an individual game or anything or stuff like that. But again, there's plenty of great exclusives to PlayStation 4. The Uncharted series, Spider-Man, God of War, for example, top 3 ones I can think of my head. The Last of Us as well. So yeah, PlayStation 4 does have a great selection of exclusives, and again, PlayStation 4, in my opinion, could possibly be my favourite modern generation console, even though I don't play it as much as my Xbox One, mostly because I play my Xbox One with my friend over PlayStation 4, because we game share. So, and yeah, anyway, I think the PlayStation 4 doesn't need any more attention than what I'm giving it, because it's probably one of the most sold modern consoles as well. I think the Switch outsold it at some point, but I think the PlayStation 4 is still on top. With the PlayStation 5 on the way, how many of these PlayStation 4 games are going to work on the PlayStation 5? Well, I've already done a video on that, so if you want to hear more about that, check out my PlayStation 5 backwards compatibility video. But again, we might be surprised. The PlayStation 5 reveal event is coming soon, so maybe they'll talk more about it in that video. Overall, guys, I think the PlayStation 4 is definitely a 5-star console for me. As for how hard it is to collect for, I'd give it maybe a 3.5 to 4-star collection rating in terms of difficulty, because it does have a lot of games, and because it's still an ongoing list, it is kind of hard to do. In terms of budget-wise, PlayStation 4 is a little bit more expensive because it's a modern console. However, it's not overly expensive. They are a bit cheaper now. So in terms of for budget, for the console, it gives maybe a 3-star out of 5. In terms, the higher the star is, the better the budget, I guess. The games, again, there are plenty of cheap games out there, but there are some more expensive ones. So again, maybe a 3.5 star out of that. For budget wise, in terms of collections, how many games there are, definitely a 5-star rating. There's so many games and so many great ones, and overall I'd give the console a good 4.5 to 5 star as a collector. It's just such a fun console to collect for, and I nearly don't have enough games. I've only got like 60-70 physical games for this, and that is nowhere near as many games as there are out there. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and of course comment below. Let me know what you think of the PlayStation 4. Do you have one? Do you collect for it? Does this video help you maybe want to collect for one? And of course, guys, if there's anything I missed out, also let me know in the comments below. I'd like to know some extras out there. And as always, guys, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Mad Kiger, and as well on Mixer. I will be streaming Saints Row 3 tonight, more than likely. The remaster, of course. Hopefully having some shits and giggles with my friend. Always a blast to play on there. And as always, guys, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.